Okay, so here is the screen recording for lesson 6. Okay, so first of all, we talk about the elements of lesson 6. Oh, sorry, lesson 6 is about elements, so we talk about elements in lesson 6. Okay, so elements are basically known as tags. Most tags include a starting tag and an end tag. This would normally be the layout of the start tag, and then whatever you want to place in between the tag will go here, and then this will be the layout of the end tag. The only difference to actually note of is the forward slash here. Okay. So elements that don't really require a start tag could be seen like, elements that don't really require like a closing tag, or tags like the BR tag or the HR tag. Okay, now we'll talk about nested HTML elements. So a nested element is basically an element that contains an element that will be known as a nested element. So this pretty much includes all HTML documents. They will be just made up of nested elements. And this is your particular layout of your very basic HTML document. And if I just paste that into the emulator in layout for you and then run it, this is a nested element. And so this one is the H1 element, and this is the P element. So between the body tag is where most of your content will normally go in a document. So your P tags, your tables, your lists, your images, your paragraphs, everything pretty much will be going between the body tag. Some web pages even have their nav bar in the body, and others just have it right before the body. It's a personal preference. Depends what you want to go for in your web page. Would just depend on where you put it. It's completely up to you. So moving on to lesson 7. This lesson is about attributes. What are attributes and why do we use them? So attributes are designed for elements to provide additional information about them. For example, what size you want it, what color you want it, where to align it. Attributes like that. All HTML elements can be assigned attributes, and they will be specified in the start tag. The open tag. You specify in that area, and they usually call them in name and value pairs, such as name equals value. So the name will be like the name of the attribute, and then equals the value that you want to add to the attribute, or the color you want to add to that attribute, and so on and so on. If the name was about a color, like font color or something. Okay, so now we just talk about the href attribute. So as you can remember, a href is basically a link. So the a tag is what is used to define a href attribute. It's where the link address will be declared. An example is just given below with Google again. This was also discussed earlier. in the part 1 video tutorials where I went to the extra learning page and I showed the link there to the emulator. Okay, talking about source attributes now. Again, this tag was also discussed in part 1. So let's go over a little bit more though, because it's just discussed in a little bit more detail which I haven't quite covered yet. Okay, so in the source attribute, a user would insert the name of the file. They could also specify the width and height of an image by using a set size of attributes as shown in the example below. Size attributes are measured in pixels, so that means that width and height of the image are both set to 100 pixels each in the example. So as you can see, it starts off with the opening tag, right? And then you've got your image source equals double quotes. Double quotes doesn't have to be used in some tags, but it's always good to use it. It's a good coding practice to use double quotes. A very good coding practice. So you got the image name, you know, .jpeg, then you got your alt. That's the alternative text you would put in there if your image was not to be shown. And then here we have the width and height specified to 100 pixels. 100 pixels in width, 100 pixels in height. Okay, so now we talk about the style attribute. The style attribute is what is used to modify the style of a particular element, such as its color, your font size, color, the font itself, italic, bold, you know, things like that. Anything to do with styling. An example of size attribute being used is given below. So you got your key tag, then you got style, you know, it's set to color red. So I am your paragraph will be set to color red. As you can see, it is white over here, but that's just because it's an example of how you'd write it. So if I just copy that, paste it here. Oops, wrong keys. There we go. There we go. See, it's red. Now here we have the lang attribute. This will declare the language of the page. And the language of your page will be written in the double quotes. That is where you specify the language. Now we have the title attribute. This attribute can be considered a user-friendly feature that would add to an element in your web page. So elements like paragraphs, images, and so on. So as you can see in the example below, it's been added to a p tag. And now if I just run this, so as you can see, all it does is it creates almost like an unhover event, you know, just a little unhover kind of action, where if I just hover over an element that has a title attribute assigned to it, you know, whatever message you write between the double quotes will be shown when you hover over the element in the web page. Okay, so lesson 8 is about headings. As you can see, it goes from H1 to H6. They all just decrease in size as you carry on, as you go down the list, or sorry, of the list. The size just decreases, as you can see. Heading tags again, all written the exact same way. You know, they've all got the slash in before the element name in the end tag, and the start tag is just H and the volume number you wish to put in, which would also be the same number you put in the end tag. Now it's very important that you do pick the right headings for your web pages, because headings are what navigates the flow of the document. You know, it helps the user just scope the page and get a good understanding of the structure. So it's important you do take some thought into which headings to use when. And then you could add a little bit of styling in, for example your font size. Just the style attribute, name and value, name, font size, value 50 pixels in the double quotes, following good coding practice. Moving on. So this lesson is just about creating paragraphs and quick tips. Now when you do create paragraphs, something to note of is extra spaces and lines won't be blended into the page that you have between the few tags in your script. For example, just to give you a quick example, you can just add spaces in here. For example, there we go. As you can see, everything is from after the space, you know, the hashtag and everything has just been moved up. You know, these spaces have not been rendered into the web page; they've just been cancelled out. So if you do want spaces between, let's say, your paragraph tags, if you do want these spaces to be kept, you could use the BR element, you know, break line element. This is one you could use. This what you add a couple of them in. As you can see, space has been kept. So each BR represents a new line. So if I just take them off, everything's going to a new line. Now, if you don't want to use BR tags, there is a way to include the white spaces in the HTML code, and that is with pre-tags. So if you use pre-tags, and then you have your content or whatever you want in there, and you put like a lot of lines in there, new lines, there's a lot of gaps in your content. With the use of pre-tags, these gaps will be kept. They won't be rendered out. Like the web page will keep them in, and then they'll be displayed into the web page. Okay, so lesson 10 is about styles. So the style is an attribute that you could use to add to your HTML elements. You know, we did talk about earlier the name and value. How how you add them in the name and value pairs. So it starts off with the open tag, and then you have your name of your element, your wish style, and then you got your name and value. Okay, so now we have the background color. Okay, so you got your body style, your equals, then you got your background color, and then you can choose what color you'd want it to be. And in this example, it is set to red. If I just get that and copy that out. Okay, so we got the text color, and now this is used to set the color of your text. You could set it to whatever color you do like. Currently, the H1 is being set to blue, and the P tag, the paragraph element, is being set to yeah, green, sorry. Yeah, the P element is being set to green, as you can see here, and the H1 being set to blue. Now font text is basically what you'd well, the font tab is what you'd want the text to be for your elements. So these could be H elements, P elements, whatever element that contains text you could change the text for. For example, the H1 style for family Calibri. Calibri is what the font will be, is what you're going to change it to, if it's not already set to that. So you could put Arial, Times New Roman, whatever font you like, just replace it for Calibri, and it will set the styling appropriately. So we talk about text size attribute, and this could be just change the size of the text. You could either put a specific value in there, or you could put something like 250%, which whatever is preferred. As I talk about text alignment, so this is what you would use to align your headings, your text, paragraphs, elements, and so on, even lists, tables, whatever. You could just align it to a particular part of the page. And if I just copy the code over here and show you what it looks like. Oops. You know, it's just like that, like so. Just align it to the center of the page.